for the next 100 years.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises and highest honors to Yahweh, Hashem Yahweh Shai, Hashem Rawah Hakwadash, Yahweh being the name of the Heavenly Father in Paleo Ancient Hebrew, and Yahweh Shai being the name of the one you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, Paleo Ancient Hebrew. Double honors to the apostle elders, a great millstone that rule well. Salutations to you, brothers that preach, teach, and prophesy His word, truth and sincerity, who put our lives on the line in these last days to bring you this raw and this uncut truth. It's my brother Ariaga from the Grand Rapids, Michigan camp here with another nifty lesson for you brothers and sisters that may see this. Peace be unto you. Shalom. All right, so let's get off into it. So I'm in the kitchen right now. Please excuse me. I'm here making a little spinach dip. Dippity do, dippity dog. And here getting it in. So you hear some pots clanging and things of that nature. Please excuse me. All right, but nonetheless, let's get to it. The devastating effects of the American values and what they've had on the so-called Negroes, Latino, and Native women, specifically so-called Black women. These American values and liberations have basically set you against us, not only from the conception of this place, but to this very day are we separated, and it has had generational effects on our children, on our people, not just mentally and developmentally wise, physically and what have you, but financially. Financially, we are in the situation for that very reason. Why were we richer and doing better than the average white family back in the early 1900s? Why? Because we were married. We had higher marriage rates. Okay, we had a better income, and we were raising more responsible children. See, we didn't have all of this goofy, confused gangsters and charlatans running around. We didn't have that. We actually, for the vast majority of the part, had a controlled environment that was beneficial to us as a nation. What happened? The separation came not just in slavery itself, when they were pitted against us, when they put the woman above the man, but primarily in the 70s with the separation of the households and the adding on of the financial aid, listen to me, for the woman to be able to get the state benefits, welfare, food stamps, what have you. That was also a large portion of it, just getting the father out of the household. And then what did that lead to? Well, to this day, unfortunately, our women seem to think, they have the air that they are above our men, that they're better than us. And no other woman, and then you have a few women that say, not me, I don't think, look, let's just say you are the exception. I'm talking about the vast majority. Henceforth, why they are alone and they don't have anyone, because they feel like they can act a certain way and we're supposed to accept it just because. And I'm here to tell you that the majority of our men, 20 to 35, are single for a reason, or we're dealing with other nation women for a reason, because you feel like we have to put up with certain abnormalities in behavior, and that gives you the right to act that way. But most other women, right, because I'm not saying all of them, because all these other women, hey, the wickedness of a woman is not held to a race. But here in America, when they're freely able to go about and do what feels right to them, and just because something feels right doesn't make it right. Logically, that is not so. So as they go about and they do the things that they want to, and they prioritize their happiness over duty which happiness is a fleeting feeling, which I will play a video on that as well. We are in this broken condition. And the reason we are in this broken condition, especially wealth-wise, is because of a government psyop. We've been that way since. This is something that Esau wanted to see happen because they are intimidated with what the so-called black man, or the tribe of Judah especially, which is the head tribe, is able to do when they unify, especially with the rest of the tribes. You see what I'm saying? And by sowing those seeds of discord, this is what we have. Flash forward to the current situations that we're dealing with. And you can see that with the whole Kamala Harris and Donald Trump and the women blaming our men for that, and then turn around that, you know, it didn't have nothing to do because most of the men did vote for Kamala Harris. I mean, it wasn't no apologies. I heard a few, a seldom few, so-called black women apologize for that. But the vast majority was just like, oh, well, shit. Or they still believing otherwise, you know? Regardless of the matter, we have this detrimental situation. And I just watched this video earlier of this brother in China. He's been there for about 10 years talking about the experience, you know, of these different black women who go to China, Italy, these different places, and they're looked down upon. Why is that? Maybe it's because the way you treat your men, like as a vast majority, right? Even though you have a lot of women, especially in America, that, you know, are on this feminist mind state, and that's all around the world, because that goes with democracy, but it's nothing compared to America, and it's nothing compared to our women, since they have been liberated in their mind. It has been the very essence that has torn us down. And then we get ridiculed when we go deal with another nation. Oh, you wrong for that. Y'all don't. Look, man, let me tell you something. Here's the proof. Here's one of the infallible proofs. And what I want to do is outline these issues and address them according to the scriptures, because all throughout the scriptures, I'll tell you something. It tells you why a man is supposed to be over his woman, period. That's 100%, 0%. 100% man, because if you work for these Edomites, the so-called white men, that's 100% zero, and you willing to do whatever he tell you to do, and yes sir, and no sir, and all of this shit. But then when it comes to having that same respect for your husband that treats you and in a good manner, that loves you and that would give his life for you, it seems to be that ongoing trend that they don't have that same respect for us. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get to it. Let's check this out. Wait, hold on.
So talk I give on the 5 biggest challenges black people have for the next 100 years. The number one challenge is the existential crisis of the black family. The existential crisis of the black family. Marriage in our culture is down to 34%. When we were growing up, it was 85%, is now down to 34%. 71% of our sisters are not married, 29% will never get married, 63% of our brothers are not married, 30% of them will never get married. There is no culture.
Hold on, I want you to listen to those. I want you to listen to those stats one more time.
85% is now down to 34%.
85% to 34%. Right? It's here in America. Okay, let's keep going.
71% of our sisters are not married, 29% will never get married, 63%.
71% of the women, so-called black women, are not married. How many won't get married?
71% of our sisters are not married, 29% will never get married.
29% will never get married.
63% of our brothers are not married.
63% of the brothers aren't married. So 71% of the women ain't married. 63% of the men aren't married. Right? Because there's two things you got to understand. A woman controls access to sex, but a man controls access to marriage. Remember that. Because if that man doesn't propose to you in this society or decide he wants to take you on, you will not get married. Okay? So why is this? 63% of the men as to 71% of the women. Who's the issue? What's the issue? Well, what? You mean to tell me that there's a percentage of men that are still married? If they not marrying those black women, I mean, other nations have taken a fancy to those men. But apparently, the other nations haven't taken a fancy onto our women. That's why they're still largely unmarried, right? Either way, those figures are still large. It's more than half. Continue.
30% of them will never get married. There is no culture in the history of humankind that has risen to maximize their full human potential without family at the center of their culture. This only exists. This is an interesting but negative statistic. This phenomenon of the existential crisis of our family only exists among African American people. It does not exist on the continent or anywhere else in the diaspora, so there must be something in the water. We must fix this. It is a lot easier said than done because it is impacting our wealth. Quick statistics. For 350 years, household median income was dominated by white people. They were number one in this country. They no longer are number one. They're number three. There's a reason for that. So, who has the highest household median wealth in America? It's East Indians. $104,000 a year. What's the marriage rate in the East Indian culture? 94%. Who's number two? Chinese Asians. Household median income $110,000 a year. Marriage rate close to 70%. Number three are white people. Household median income $88,000 a year. What's the marriage rate? Almost 50%. Down to.
See, now I wanted to point something out. Excuse me again. That goes to show that is an American value. See, other countries, other nations, people understand the value of marriage. That's why they came over here and surpassed Edomites, the so-called white man. They came over here and surpassed their numbers in their household wealth in their supposed own stolen country. Right? Make that make sense. Because of the values of this country, the freedoms that it offers, which are not freedoms at all. They just really traps.
Significantly. Number four are Hispanics. Household median income $61,000 a year. Marriage rate close to 70%. We are at the bottom. Household median income $55,000 a year. Marriage rate 34% and projected based on.
God damn. Even the Latin women know, hey, marriage is a big thing. We got to stay married. We got to have a family to make this work. 70%. And it goes to the black households. 30 some percent. These curses, man. Deuteronomy 28.
Facts and statistics that if we do not fix this, because white folks ain't fixing this, our marriage rate will be in the low teens in the next 20 years. We must, this is an enormous challenge. That's a whole talk by itself on how do we fix it. It can be fixed, but we have to, first of all, understand that this is a problem. No one's talking about this problem. This is a huge problem. It's the number one problem in our culture. So we must fix it. There's a talk I give on the 5 biggest challenges black people.
So that city girl lifestyle, that I don't need a man mind state. You don't hear other women saying that. Like you hear some white women saying that, but they still know the value of marriage, even though women in this country are quick to, get married to a man and then break away from him once they have children, and then they get a significant amount of his wealth, his properties, and what have you. It's still understood by those men that getting married is a necessary value, and having a father and a mother in the household are necessary traits to succeed in this society. That is still understood by these other nations, even the Edomite nation. So feminism hasn't gotten them all the way gone because they still carry that value and understand that much. But 30%, oh my God, bro. Even the Latinos, the northern tribes understand that value. And I'm going to just lump the natives in there with that. Even they understand the values of having a full household. Now, let's get into these ideals, okay? I'll show you some more real quick. Hold up. Genesis 3:16. Unto the woman, he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception, right? That's why they have pain when they give birth compared to animals. They don't have it. They don't feel pain when they give birth. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. This is what the scriptures say. This is what it was meant to be. It wasn't meant to be a hot girl summer, be 45 and unmarried. What do they call them in China? When these women are unmarried by 35, by in their 30s, they call them the other woman, the unwanted woman. Even if they look good as hell, only thing in their culture they good for is just to have sex with, get popped on. Because after a while, a woman that is set in her 30s, 40s, you really can't, like they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. They pretty much set in their values and ways. That's why, they talk about, oh, we don't want older men to get with younger women because they're just going to groom them. Of fucking course they're supposed to. I gotta say it like that. Because when you get a wife, a young wife, especially if she's a virgin, right? And you're supposed to groom her. All right. So this is what I expect out of you, especially if it's a well to do man. He's like, hey, hey, you stay home, take care of the children. I'm gonna go to work, I'm gonna toil at work. You know what I'm saying? Cook, clean, do all of these things. Now women jumped up and they say, oh, we're willing to do that now that they talking about, bringing out the draft and shit. Look, you can't pick and choose when you want to be a woman and turn on your femininity on and off like a switch. That doesn't work like that. All right. Let's keep going. All right. Check this out. Cooley from No Fugazi. Well, she got busted out too, but the information here is powerful. Check it out.
Would you sacrifice your family for your happiness, or would you sacrifice your happiness for your family?
If I'm not happy, no.
What about you?
I would definitely go for my happiness, because what is life about if we're not trying to be happy?
And what about you?
I've actually been there and done that, and I did choose my happiness, and I'm happy I did.
With all of your answers, this is the reason why women initiate 70 to 80% of the divorces, because you prioritize your happiness over your family. Marriage, to be honest, isn't about happiness. Marriage is about purpose and duty. Happiness is fleeting. It's up and down, meaning that you're happy at one moment and then you're not happy another moment. Men, we can be unhappy. We act despite how we feel. There's guys that suffer in sexless relationships, sexless marriages, and still stay with that woman.
You have one life to live. Why would you sit there and be miserable
Because
for the rest of your life?
men, we don't think the world revolves around us. Like, men really love a girl. You just love that man based off how you feel. I think the only thing you do love is your feelings. Men, we don't prioritize the way we feel. We prioritize what's real. And that's family, that's the woman, that's the children. So we'll sacrifice our happiness for a relationship without a problem.
Facts. And look at the looks on their faces. When he's telling them this, talking about men being in sexless marriages and in relationships, look at the look on their face. Like, what? You mean there's men out there that don't have sex in their relationships and they stay? What? Are you serious? Yes. Because it's about duty. Okay? It's about responsibility. We prioritize those things because, look, men are logical. Women are governed by their feelings. That's the way the Lord programmed us. Henceforth, you need a leader. The only one that can protect a woman from a man is another man, period. I don't care how you look at it, how you cut it. Oh, no, I could see and all this other shit. I don't care how you cut it, how you spin it. All right, the reality of the matter is that's the only way. Oh, well, a woman can have a gun. Look, let's take all of that off the table. I don't care how many martial arts classes you take. If a man want what you got and he's determined enough, all that shit will go out the window as soon as you get hit. What does Mike Tyson say? Everybody got a plan until they get hit. All of that shit goes out of the window. Please understand this. Okay? Just look at the look on her face. She's amazed. Like, what? Yes, duty. Okay? Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Most High and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Period. Someone can say, oh, it's mankind. That means everybody's supposed to, right? But it's going to start with the man. Period. Because we are going to guide you in the right way. Whether you are a child and you grow up under the leadership, the guidance of hearing a man tell you these things or teach you the Bible, right? Because that's how it's supposed to be. All right. It's not supposed to be female pastors and all of this because that's not biblical. So you're supposed to grow up listening to a man and then go from your father to your husband. All right. Men rule over these women. Why? Not because we just, back in the day, they just used to abuse them and beat the shit out of them. So y'all taking a small percentage of shit and y'all making it a broad perspective. Who the fuck told you that? A lot of older women that I talked to that had husbands that passed on, I'm talking about old. They like, hey, man, I love my husband. Matter of fact, after he passed, I didn't even get married to nobody else after that. See all of this shit talking about how they used to get beat up and just abused and treat. Who? That's other women spreading that bullshit. That's not true. Okay? Because back in the day, we had values. And those values were governed by the law, statutes, and commandments because that was the duty of man. And we knew that, hey, if our woman is acting right and doing these things, man, we're going to love her and treat her accordingly, man. I'm not just going to I ain't got shit to do. Let me beat up my wife. Man, all of that is bullshit. Number one bullshit. My man Khabib Nurmagomedov, if you said, man. All right, number one bullshit. Let's keep going. Now, hey, you can hear him from the horse's mouth. Okay, check this out.
One can hold black women accountable accountable. Black women, unfortunately, we have adopted this mentality that I can do whatever I want to do and can't nobody tell me anything. And this is why we are where we're at. We live in a very selfish, egotistical society now that nobody cares. If you're a black woman and the whole black woman accountable, you have to be ready to like fight because it's going to come with a lot. I'm always thinking about how young girls are being influenced. So what us grown women are doing is influencing these girls to do these out of control, I don't care attitudes. They have the most disgusting attitude that you can't even check them because they have their moms who say I could do whatever I want. So can't no one hold us accountable. Not a black man, your white boss probably. That's probably the only one who can tell us what to do because they pay us. A gay man can tell us what to do. There's a black woman or a black man, a straight black man. We don't want to hear it. No one can hold black women accountable. Black women, unfortunately, we have adopted this mentality that I can do whatever I want to do and can't nobody tell me anything. And this is why we are where we're at. We live in a very selfish, egotistical society now that nobody cares. If you're a black woman and the whole black woman accountable, you have to be ready to like fight because it's going to come with a lot. I'm always thinking about how young girls are being influenced. So what us grown women are doing is influencing these girls to do these out of control, I don't care attitudes. They have the most disgusting attitude that you can't even check them because they have their moms who say I could do whatever I want. So can't no one hold us accountable. Not a black man, your white boss probably. That's probably the only one who can tell us what to do because he pay us. A gay man can tell us what to do. There's a black woman or a black man, a straight black man. We don't want to hear it. No one can hold black women accountable.
Hey, she put that perfectly. Perfecto. Okay? Perfect. All right? And that's why we call so-called black woman, that's why we like to call her over here Esau's lieutenant. The white man's lieutenant, because once they get a hold of any privileges and that man elevates our women over us, they're in heaven. You can't tell them shit. They like shit, motherfucker, please. And so even walking down the street, you can see these nuances. You can see they really feel like they better than us. Hey, how you doing today? This nigga talking to me, girl. You don't look, but we go and we say that to a so-called white woman. Hi, how you doing? Getting all this conversation and smiling and shit. But from our own women, we get resistance on something so simple. Deuteronomy 28:37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, a byword among all nations, whether Yahweh shall lead thee. A byword. Calling you like nigger and coon and spick and tomahawks and all of that. All of those are bywords. Even being called black and Mexican and Latinx and native and all of that. All of those are bywords, man. Among all the nations where Yahweh shall lead thee, thou shalt beget sons and daughters, but thou shalt not enjoy them, but they shall go into captivity. Me personally, and that came especially the transatlantic slave trade, or in the Spanish Inquisition, or the Trail of Tears and the campaigns that they did, the conquistadors did here in the Americas, whether it be from South America and Puerto Rico and Cuba and what have you. All right. But nonetheless, just like it says, you shall beget sons and daughters, and thou shalt not enjoy them. See, even with myself, present day, what did the woman do? I lost my family, my children, because of this truth's sake. She'll say, oh, it's verbal abuse and all of this other stuff. Yeah, to women, when you start telling them the truth about this word, oh, that's oppressive, that's wrong, that's this and that's that. All right, that word abuse is used as a way for women to get out of responsibility of being in a relationship, or they're not happy. These are ways for them to get out of these responsibilities and do it all by themselves. Okay? So nonetheless, I am a victim of this situation. Okay? So I love my children. Man, I'm telling you, I love my children, brother. But what happened? Something similar to the pride that's being passed around with these women. What happened? Hey, oh man, got liberated by this society. Okay? So once again, these curses, boy, these curses. Let's keep going. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. Whoo! Let me read that again. Deuteronomy 28:56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not pre-adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness. They were more delicate and tender, and tenderness back in the day, right? According to now, they love to fight. They fight more than men do. Out here fighting in the streets of the club. This is a mess, right? Her eyes shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom, and towards her son, and towards her daughter. And like she was talking about, um, you can't tell the mother nothing. So how the hell are you gonna tell the daughter something? And that's me making my broth for this or my sauce. So please don't mind the sizzling noise. All right, my broth making my base, my sauce for my spinach dip. All right. But nonetheless, that's why, like she was saying, you can't even tell a woman to the black woman, make her be accountable. You try to step up to her and try to, tell her about being accountable for some shit she done did or messed up on. You got to prepare for a battle. And then you can't tell her nothing. So you definitely can't tell the daughter nothing because she see her mama act and she passes it down. So that goes back to towards her son and towards evil towards the husband of her bosom, towards her son and towards her daughter, and towards the young one that cometh out from between her feet, and towards the children which she shall bear. But she shall eat them for want of all things secretly in the siege, and straightness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. And that is, going into the famine or back in the ancient days when we, in the scriptures, what happened was they were sieging our city, sieging Jerusalem, and it got to the point where they cut off all supply routes to the point where we weren't getting any food in. So we made pacts with each other to eat our children. So the woman is quick to get, nowadays, quick to fight for the right to get an abortion. You think that they would hesitate to eat their children? Because especially in this society where you heavily they eat meat every single day. A couple days without eating, they'll be like, shit, man, fuck that baby, I'm just being honest with you. That's the reality of the situation. All right, let's keep going. Check this out. Oops.
Who is more easily bored in relationships, men or women?
Women.
If women are more easily bored, why are they more likely to want marriage and commitment?
Status.
If women are strong and independent and don't need no man, why does the pressure of marriage and commitment typically come from women?
They're liars.
Who is
One more
easily
time.
bored in relationships, men or women?
Women.
If women are more easily bored, why are they more likely to want marriage and commitment?
Status.
If women are strong and independent and don't need no man, why does the pressure of marriage and commitment typically come from women?
They're liars.
Hey, at least she had the integrity to tell the truth about that. Because most days, most females, they'll just come up with all kind of crazy shit. All right, shout out to my man. I forgot the name of his channel, but he, interviews women and men on the streets and topics like these, very powerful topics. So salute to him. But nonetheless, that's the reality. She just told you straight to your face. Tell you like a man in your face. She just told you straight up. And liars and all these different things. Why? because they have the advantage in this place. And when somebody has the advantage in their mind, if it's not broke, don't fix it, right? Right. Let's keep going. Got a couple more for you. All right. Now, this older woman right here, she's from the old school, so she knows what's up. And she's about to because she be getting on her daughter, man, because of course her daughter got that city girl spirit, or her granddaughter. I don't know if it's her daughter or her granddaughter, but regardless of the matter, she be getting on her, you know, because the women back in the day, like I say, for tender and delicateness, you know, they gonna set their foot on the ground. Like, hey, you got women walking around barefooted downtown in the streets, feet all black and shit. I'd be looking like, damn, a man wouldn't even do that. But she's from that era where they were still delicate and tender. All right, and feminine. Let's see what she has to say.
How about you help me find a husband?
It ain't the oldest, it ain't the youngest. It's the treatment. It's not the oldest. Yeah. It's not the color. Yeah. It's not the one got money. Yeah. It's the one nice.
And I spend the money nowadays.
Okay. Yes, you can. There's some good men out there. Well, it is not. It's the women. It ain't the men no more. The women's gonna leave. The women's gonna leave. It ain't the men now. It's the women are gonna leave.
You gonna flip the script on us?
Yeah. It's the women are gonna leave.
You a woman yourself.
I'm a woman myself, but I don't do half the things I see these women do now.
Animal.
That's the reason the men don't respect them. That's why. Let me tell you something, Amber. You got to give a man respect to get respect. You know what I'm saying? You got to give your husband respect to get respect.
Tell him.
If long as you respect him, ain't too much he gonna do wrong.
Hey man, Granny kept it real. She kept it 100 with her. That's what I'm telling you, man. The women from back in the day, they was put together completely different. Kept it 100, a buck with her. She ain't hesitate to hit her with them facts. I seen a couple of videos with her, and she be talking to her granny and stuff, and she be dropping game. Why don't you help me find a husband? Shit. Girl, the goddamn Sherlock Holmes couldn't help you find a husband because you don't have the values of a real woman. You have the corrupted values of an American woman. Okay? And those corrupted values have put you in a situation where you are just like them women in Asia that men don't want after 30. All right? The other woman, the unwanted woman. You understand? Why? Because he's going to have to take on all that pride, all that mouth, and all this other shit that he didn't sign up to take. And it's not worth it, dude. It's not. That's why men value their peace. No, all men want is some vagina. All they want is some box, some ass. No, we want peace. That's the number one thing. And if you can't bring peace, peace is a very valuable thing. Ecclesiasticus 25:13, give me any plague but the plague of the heart, which is the mind. Hebrew word is lob. And any wickedness but the wickedness of a woman. That shit'll drive you nuts, man. You hear it is, you supposed to come home and you supposed to be in good condition and shit, and you supposed to be way out of the world and be able to just relax and, hey, I'm at home with my family, with my woman, you know what I'm saying? I'm supposed to be able to just kick back and unwind and shit. You come home to some crazy shit, arguing and fussing and fighting and shit. Damn. No, man. We value peace. I value peace over a peace. Like, you know, Granny had put on some real shit. You gotta look, I saw a meme on that and it said, it was real. A woman is supposed to respect, it's a man's job to respect the woman, but it's a woman's job to give a man something to respect. Okay? Let me say that again. It's a man's job to respect the woman, But it's a woman's job to give a man something to respect. Do you understand that? Let's keep going. It says, I have rather dwell with a lion and a dragon than keep house with a wicked woman. This is in the Ecclesiasticus 25:16. This is the scripture saying this. So your pastor didn't tell you about this part. He left this part out on purpose because he knew you wasn't going to be able to take it. Okay? He knew y'all was going to start leaving in droves. So and it's going to start fucking up the church's money. So he didn't tell you this part. He left this part out on purpose. He left the whole Apocrypha, which is a canonical book of the Bible. He left that out on purpose because he knew it was going to cause controversy in the church, and he wasn't going to be able to keep up them payments, get that bread. The wickedness of a woman changes her face, and darkeneth her countenance like sackcloth. And then you throw on makeup. Because I'm going to tell you, you can see that, look, what they call it, the resting bitch face. Like looking at like someone like Beyonce's mom, you know she's a bitch. You can see it in her face. You can see the demons in these women's faces, and it make them, all of that arguing and fussing and tripping make them age terribly. Okay? What you say? Men age like wine, women age like milk. A lot of them, and that's not for all women, but it's for a good amount because a lot of them is always keeping up that extra shit, bitching, tripping, complaining, moaning and groaning, and they got it good. And that's coming from a privileged standpoint, mind you. Not coming from, oh shit, we just broken in poverty and we all fucked up in the desert. No, that's coming from a privileged standpoint. It says, her husband shall sit among his neighbors, and when he heareth it, shall sigh bitterly. Oh shit, here she come. And another thing, where you been? Oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh my goodness. You just be like, oh my gosh, here we go. That shit is embarrassing, man. But here it is. It's our fault. But even our own women is just like the black woman told you. Hey, you can't tell them shit. You can't tell them nothing. You better be ready to fight World War II before you try to tell a so-called black woman about herself. She be in the wrong. All wickedness is but little to the wickedness of a woman. Let the portion of a sinner fall upon her. Bam. Good gravy. Let's keep going, man. This is what the word says, mind you. All right.
Well, why do we have to settle for these types of things that you're saying?
Well, first of all, you don't have to settle for anything. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. What also does not have to happen is it don't have to be counter to their nature to make you happy.
And that's okay. So what's the issue?
The issue is that men are not the ones complaining about the state of relationships and dating as much as women are. Women wanted freedom of choice. Women wanted to be able to have sex with who they wanted to, marry who they want to, love who they want to, work where they want to, not work where they want to, go every place that they could go. You are the most free, most liberated group of women that ever existed on human history, and yet you're the most unhappy. Before you on some sort of psych needs. Women are, the marital rate is dropping with modern women. What else do you want men to do? We've civilized the world in general. We don't even have wars. You can do whatever you want to, and you're still not happy with the world that men built, telling us that we're not good enough because we don't move like women. We're not going to.
Well, why do we have to settle for these types of things that you're saying?
Hey, man, rest in peace to the brother Kevin Samuels, because he used to cut y'all up. And he used to do it so skillfully and so humbly. Like, you couldn't help but, they couldn't look, the look on them women, they couldn't help but sit there and just be like, damn. And listen to our tone, just the attitude. Like, man, one more time.
Well, why do we have to settle for these types of things that you're saying?
Well, first of all, you don't have to settle for anything. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. What also does not have to happen is men don't have to be counter to their nature to make you happy.
And that's okay. So what's the issue?
The issue is that men are not the ones complaining about the state of relationships and dating as much as women are. Women wanted freedom of choice. Women wanted to be able to have sex with who they wanted to, marry who they want to, love who they want to, work where they want to, not work where they want to, Go every place that men could go. You are the most free, most liberated group of women that ever existed on the human history, and yet you're the most unhappy. 1 in 4 out of you on some sort of psych meds. Women are, the marital rate is dropping with modern women. What else do you want men to do? We've civilized the world in general. We don't even have wars. You can do whatever you want to, and you're still not happy with the world that men built, telling us that we're not good enough because we don't move like women. We're not going to.
Well, why do we?
Period. Period. Point blank. And you can hear the attitude in her voice. She's still gonna think, oh well, it's something that men's doing, because I'm not. I'm the pride. Look, man. These are these American values that are getting you fucked up. Because for you to sit back and think the way you do is a privilege. Women in third world countries know what's up, because they know the dangers of stepping outside without a man. And this is going to quickly come back to that. As you can see, things are getting scarier and scarier outside. And it's going to, because this world is turning into a more wicked place under the rulership of Esau Edom. And this new world order is coming in, and in that transition period, let me tell you something. You a woman without a man, you good. You good as dead, because like the scriptures say, a man shall be the hiding place for a woman. All right. And the reality is, right now, a lot of you women that don't have a man, you are in big trouble. Little China. Let's go.
Would you sacrifice?
Here's the thing about settling, ladies. You have to realize men have been settling. If you think you are the woman of his dreams, you are sorely mistaken.
That's right.
Again, men will marry the woman that is good enough and she is unproblematic and useful to him. All the other stuff that you think you're exceptional at, somebody else can do.
Mm-hmm.
So please believe you are not the one settling here. And over the course of the lifetime, because we naturally slow down as women, because men are built for the long haul, they don't carry the burden. So they're doing that for somebody that is not their first choice.
One more time. Please tell it again, sister.
Here's the thing about settling, ladies. You have to realize men have been settling. If you think you are the woman of his dreams, you are sorely mistaken.
Sorely.
Again, men will marry the woman that is good enough and she is unproblematic and useful to him. All the other stuff that you think you're exceptional at, somebody else can do. So please believe you are not the one settling here. And over the course of the lifetime, because we naturally slow down as women, because men are built for the long haul, they will carry the burden. So they're doing that for somebody that is not their first choice.
Period. So when you talk about settling, men, like I see a lot of dudes, pretty good looking dudes. Not to say I don't see women like that, but handsome dudes, they be posted up with a big one. Big, swole up, sloppy built, but he'll have children with her, or she might not have looked like that before. Matter of fact, she wasn't built all the way like he liked, but she had a humble spirit, and she was with him at that time. And he'll take her on and marry her. Remember, we control the gateway to marriage, right? And so all of that will take place, and then after she have a couple children, her body will just look out of whack, or she'll just let it go. Like, hey, just let her body go. Hey, I got them. A lot of these women in America, they'll stop working out, stop doing all the things that they were doing before, because they like in their mind, and I've heard them say that, I already got them, so I don't have to keep maintaining myself and doing these things. I got them. I already got them when man I want, and just let themselves go. And that man will stay there. He will stay there. Why? Because y'all have children together. He has a duty to fulfill. And he'll still love that woman. Okay? And on the topic of cheating, hey, let me tell you something. Just like I'm bringing out to you in the scriptures, a man can have more than one woman. So we're going to stop it right there. Okay? I'm a firm believer at that. And guess what? That man's still taking care of his household, making sure they eat and loving his woman. hey, according to the scriptures, it's all good. The problem play comes in when a lot of these women, what they do is they go out and they find another man or they cheat on their man. That's considered adultery. Or when a man has sex with another man's wife, that's adultery. All of this cheating shit, you can't point that out to me in the Bible. Oh, well, he's cheating. He cheated in this sexless relationship. I stopped giving him a vagina and he just went out and started cheating. That's not biblical, man. Monogamy, all of that is something based upon another culture which isn't ours. And that's the so-called white man's culture. Okay? Let's keep going. Now, this is MC Hammer going off. It's hammer time, boy. See that bill in his hand? My man Hammer had to go ahead and drop the hammer on some of these hoes for talking reckless. All right, check this out.
That's why these black men are right there. And then you wonder why they don't want them. And then they say, they strong black woman. That's a strong black woman. Telling the straight black man, shut up. That's why she will die on.
Woo! One more time.
That's why these black men are single. Why these black women are single right there. And then you wonder why we don't want them. And then they say, it's strong black woman. That's a strong black woman. Telling a straight black man to shut up. That's why she will die alone.
Woo! Boy, it's hammer time. Boy, MC Hammer went in there and snapped because of that mouth. Look, man, you may be able to talk to certain men like that, these beta males and shit, just talk to them all reckless and shit. Look, man, men is not going to continue. Look, every man going to let you just talk reckless to him. Be disrespectful. That's not going to fly, dog. That's not going to fly at all. That shit ain't got wings on it. It ain't going to fly, dog. Okay? And he had to cut into that ass real quick. Okay?